Good morning, everyone. Achievers, doers, result makers, thank you for being here today. I look around this room and I see something incredible. I see people who are ready to stop making excuses, people who are ready to take control, people who are ready to deliver results. And I'm here to tell you something that's going to shift your entire mindset. No excuses, just results. The life you want, the goals you dream of, the success you crave, it's all waiting for you, but it's not going to come if you're hiding behind excuses. Today we're going to talk about how you can ditch the excuses, take ownership of your journey, and focus on getting results that transform your life. Let's start with a simple truth. Excuses are the biggest obstacle between you and your greatness. Excuses are the stories we tell ourselves to avoid taking action, the reasons we give for why we can't, why we won't. I don't have time, I don't have the resources, I'm not ready, it's too hard. Sound familiar? We've all made excuses at some point, but here's the thing about excuses. They don't get you anywhere. Excuses keep you stuck, they keep you small, they keep you dreaming instead of doing. But when you commit to no excuses, just results, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the creator of your future. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You make the moment perfect by taking action. What does it mean to live with no excuses, just results? It means taking full responsibility for your life, your successes, your failures, your progress, your setbacks. It means owning your journey, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when you feel like giving up. It means replacing I can't with I will, replacing I'll try with I'll do, replacing it's not my fault with I'll make it right. Living with no excuses, just results, is about focusing on what you can control, your effort, your attitude, your actions, and letting go of the rest. And when you live this way, you don't just talk about your goals, you achieve them. You don't just dream about success, you create it. I want you to think about an excuse you've made recently, something that's been holding you back from getting the results you want. Maybe it's an excuse for why you haven't started that fitness journey. I don't have time to work out. Maybe it's an excuse for why you haven't launched that side business. I don't know enough yet. Maybe it's an excuse for why you haven't repaired a strained relationship. They should reach out. First, do you feel the weight of that excuse? Do you feel how it's keeping you from the results you deserve? Now think about what would happen if you let go of that excuse and focused on results. What would your life look like if you stopped talking yourself out of action and started showing up for yourself? Let me tell you a story about someone who lived with no excuses, just results. A woman named Marie Curie. Marie Curie was a Polish scientist in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time when women were rarely accepted in science. She faced endless barriers, limited funding, no access to proper labs, discrimination from her peers. She could have made excuses. I'm a woman in a man's field. I don't have the resources. It's too hard. But Marie chose no excuses, just results. She worked in a makeshift shed, often in freezing conditions, conducting groundbreaking research on radioactivity. She carried heavy equipment herself, taught classes to fund her work, and pushed through every obstacle. Her efforts led to the discovery of 2 new elements, radium and polonium, and she became the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes. Why? Because Marie Curie lived with no excuses, results, because she focused on what she could control and got the job done. Let's dive deeper into Marie's story, because there's so much we can learn from her determination. Imagine being Marie Curie in 1898, working in a cold, leaky shed in Paris, handling dangerous radioactive materials with your bare hands, knowing the risks to your health. Imagine the exhaustion, the rejection from the scientific community, the constant struggle to fund your research. And yet, Marie didn't let excuses stop her. She'd spend hours grinding down minerals, boiling samples, working late into the night after teaching all day. She'd ignore the naysayers, who said a woman couldn't succeed in science, focusing instead on her experiments. She'd push through illness, poverty, and doubt because she knew her work mattered, and because she lived with no excuses, just results. She didn't just make history, she changed science forever. She showed us that results come from action, not excuses. Now, you might be thinking, that's an incredible story, but I'm no Marie Curie. I don't have that kind of genius or determination. Let me stop you right there. You don't need to be Murray Curie to live with no excuses, just results. You don't need a Nobel Prize or a global stage. Living with no excuses is personal. It's about the results in your own life. Maybe your result is getting in shape, showing up for yourself by hitting the gym even when you're tired. Maybe your result is finishing that online course, learning a new skill even when you're busy. Maybe your result is saving your first $1,000, cutting out unnecessary expenses even when it's hard. Whatever it is, it's yours. And when you focus on no excuses, just results, you create the life you deserve. I've seen the power of no excuses, just results in my own life. A few years ago, I wanted to write a book to share my experiences and inspire others. But I kept making excuses. I don't have time with my job. I'm not a good enough writer. No one will read it. Those excuses kept me stuck for months, until one day I decided enough was enough. I committed to no excuses, just results. I started waking up at 5 a.m. to write for an hour before work. I studied writing techniques, joined a writer's group, and pushed through my self-doubt. It wasn't easy. I faced rejection from publishers, struggled with writer's block, questioned my abilities, but I kept going, focusing on the result, a finished book. Today, that book is published, and it's helped thousands of people. Why? Because I chose no excuses, just results. Because I took action and made it happen. Let's talk about why no excuses, just results matters. In a world that's full of distractions, excuses are the easy way out. They let you off the hook, they keep you comfortable, they protect you from failure, but they also keep you from success. When you live with no excuses, just results, you give yourself permission to take control, to stop blaming your circumstances, to stop waiting for permission, to stop letting fear hold you back. You give yourself permission to live a life of action, of progress, of achievement. And when you live this way, you inspire others to do the same. You show them that results aren't about luck or talent, they're about effort. You become a leader, a reminder that we can all achieve greatness if we stop making excuses. Let me tell you about another person who lived with no excuses, just results. A man, Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, didn't become an Olympic champion by accident. Growing up in Jamaica, he faced challenges, limited resources, injuries, and pressure to succeed in a highly competitive sport. He could have made excuses. I don't have the best training, facilities, I'm injured, I'm too tall to be a sprinter. But Usain chose no excuses, just results. He trained harder than anyone, running grueling sprints, lifting weights, perfecting his form. He pushed through injuries, showing up to practice even when he was in pain. He ignored the doubters who said he couldn't break world records. In 2008, he won 3 gold medals at the Beijing Olympics, setting world records in the 100m, 200m, and 4 by 100m relay. Why? Because Usain Bolt lived with no excuses, just results. Because he focused on the work and delivered. Let's dive deeper into Usain's story, because there's so much we can learn from his mindset. Imagine being Usain Bolt in 2007, a young sprinter with big dreams, but facing a hamstring injury that threatens your career. Imagine the pressure of competing against the world's best, the temptation to skip training when your body hurts, the voices saying you'll never be the greatest. And yet Usain didn't let excuses stop him. He'd wake up early, running laps in the heat, pushing his body to the limit. He'd study his competitors, analyzing their techniques to improve his own. He'd visualize every race, focusing on the result, crossing the finish line first. And because he lived with no excuses, just results, he didn't just win races, he became a legend. He showed us that results come from showing up, no matter what. So how do you live with no excuses, just results? How do you stop talking yourself out of action and start creating the life you want? Let me give you 3 practical steps to help you get started. Step 1, take ownership of your life. Stop blaming external factors, your job, your finances, your past, for why you're not where you want to be. Own your choices, own your effort, own your outcomes. Write down your goal and say, this is on me, I'll make it happen. Because when you take ownership, you stop giving excuses the power to control you. You start focusing on results. Step 2. Replace excuses with action plans. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, turn it into an action. Instead of saying, I don't have time to work out, schedule a 20-minute walk during lunch. Instead of saying, I don't know how to start a business, sign up for a free online course. Instead of saying, I'm too tired to study, set a timer for 15 minutes and get started. Because when you replace excuses with action plans, you turn obstacles into opportunities, you create results. Step 3. Celebrate your results, no matter how small. Results build momentum, and momentum kills excuses. So celebrate every win running your first mile, saving first $100, finishing your first chapter. Track your progress, reward your effort, share your wins with others. Because when you celebrate your results, you train your mind to focus on action, not excuses. You build a habit of success. Let me tell you about a woman I met named Priya, a school teacher from Mumbai. Priya wanted to improve education in her community, but she faced challenges: overcrowded classrooms, outdated data materials, and no support from the school board. She could have made excuses. I don't have the budget. I'm just one person. It's not my responsibility. But Priya chose no excuses, just results. She took ownership, deciding to create after-school programs for her students. She replaced excuses with action, using her own salary to buy books and partnering with local volunteers. She celebrated every result, every child who improved their reading, every parent who thanked her. Today, Priya's program has grown, impacting hundreds of kids. Why? Why? Because Priya lived with no excuses, just results. Because she took action and made a difference. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a life where you live with no excuses, just results. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you're in control, that your goals are within reach, that your actions are creating the future you want. Imagine the confidence you'll feel, the progress you'll make, the legacy you'll build. Imagine looking back on your life and saying, I stopped making excuses and I got results. That life is not a fantasy. That life is yours for the taking. All you have to do is commit to no excuses, just results. Let's take a moment to reflect. I want you to close your eyes for a second and think about an excuse you've been holding on to. What is it? What's the story you've been telling yourself that's keeping you from results? Picture that excuse in your mind. Now, picture yourself letting it go, replacing it with action, focusing on the result, showing up for yourself. Picture the person you'll become, the achiever you'll be, the results you'll create, the life you'll live. How does that feel? That feeling, that's the power of no excuses, just results. That's what it means to take control. Let me share one more story, a story about a man named Jack Ma. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, faced rejection after rejection early in his life. He failed his college entrance exam twice, was rejected from dozens of jobs, and even got turned down by KFC. He could have made excuse. I'm not smart enough. I don't have connections. I'm a failure. But Jack chose no excuses, just results. He taught himself English, started a small internet business in the 1990s when few in China understood the internet, and pitched his vision to investors over 100 times despite rejections. In 1999, he founded Alibaba, which grew into a global e-commerce giant. Why? Because Jack Ma lived with no excuses, just results. Because he kept going until he succeeded. So today, I'm asking you to make a commitment to yourself, to your goals, to the life you want to live. Commit to no excuses, just results, no matter the challenges. Commit to taking action, no matter the obstacles. Commit to creating a life of achievement, no matter the setbacks, because I promise you, when you live with no excuses, just results, you become unstoppable. You become a force of progress. You become the person you were always meant to be. The world is waiting for your results. Your life is waiting for your action. Your greatness is waiting for you to show up. So go out there, no excuses, just results, and watch how you become everything you were born to be. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Fearless Motivation.